Okay, today I am going to give a talk on mentoring engineering students. See here, mentoring title I have given is mentoring engineering students. Actually, there is a lot of difference between mentors and advisors. Okay, every advisors can't become a mentor, and all mentors cannot mentor all category of students. Mentoring the art students will be totally different. Mentoring a medical students will be totally different, and mentoring engineering students will be total different. Okay, therefore you can't follow the same procedure as you follow for each and every student. But advisor, anybody can become an advisor. Your mother can become an advisor. Your friend can become an advisor, or even children can become an advisor. But what is the criteria to become a mentor? Mentor, in order to become a mentoring certain person, you must and should have already such experience. For example, if you want to become an mentoring in engineering students, you must already have come across the engineering course in your life. That means you must already have experience of that engineering life. Okay, only such people who have got already the engineering life experience, they can become a mentor for engineering students. Okay, that's why I am taking here not mentoring the students, mentoring engineering students, because our college we are teaching only for engineers, and also in almost all the divisions, in almost all the branches, the results that we are getting is, results itself shows that number of weak students or number of students who requires mentoring is more in number. Mentoring must not be taken as a granted. It is a serious task which can change the life of the students. Okay. And also here this total session has been categorized into three types. One is what is the quality of the engineering students. That means before coming to the engineering branch, all the students will have some prerequisites. They have the knowledge of physics, chemistry, mathematics and biology. Okay, like this. After joining the course and after 4 years, there will be a lot of transformations of the students. The students, they will get transformed from PUC student to the engineering students. Okay, this is a lot of changes will happen. But what is the efficiency of becoming an engineer? How much skills, engineering skills that student has possessed? All the students who have got first class, or all the students who have passed engineering will not possess all the engineering skills. But what is this engineering skills? What are the attributes of these engineering skills? That must be known first. Okay, therefore, I have divided this discussion into three categories. That is the skills of the engineering student that is required, and second one is weak students and how to improve the weak students. Here weak students means according to that equip or according to the UGC, they will use the weak student term itself. However, nowadays we also use low learners. Okay, you can categorize the students into basically three different types. One is weak students, average students and good students, or even you can fourth category like excellent, outstanding, like this. But basically I have divided the students into three categories. One is weak, average and good students. Okay, all excellent, outstanding will comes under the category of good students, and also I have just merged that average as well as weak students into weak students itself, because there is no scope for average students nowadays. Even average students have been categorized under the group of weak students itself. I will just discuss later. That is the first categories. Discussion will be based on the skills of the engineering student that each and every student must possess in order to become an engineer. Okay, second one is what are the practices that is followed, or what are the things that we have to do inside the classroom or outside the classroom to improve the performance of the weak student. That means in generally how to transform the weak students into good students. Mainly the mentoring is required for weak students. Okay, in our college number of weak students are more as compared to the good students or excellent students. Okay, and the third one we will discuss how to do the mentorships. What is mentoring and how to do the mentorship for these engineering students, and after doing mentorship, how to measure the performance of our mentoring, whether I have done the proper mentoring or not. Okay, how do you measure that mentorship has been achieved successful or not? Okay, these are the three categories, three different contents that I discussed in this entire, I will going to discuss in the entire sessions. That is, it has been divided into qualities of the engineering students, progress or improvement of the weak students, and how to do the mentoring of these students. Here mentorship will do for both good as well as weak students, but it is more necessary for weak students. However, you can see that weak students may not always remain as a weak student, and even good students may not always remain as a good student. So many times good students will get transformed into weak students, and weak students will get transformed into good students. This type of instances is also there, examples are also there. Okay, now these are the total 11 topics that I am going to discuss. That is, first of all, we will understand what is engineering. That is, in order to understand the skills of engineering students, first of all, we have to understand what is engineering. Here, whatever the contents that I am going to tell, you have to go and tell the same thing to the students. I am not checking your knowledge with regarding to any of these things, but what are the things that you have to do in mentorship? First of all, we have to create an engineer. Therefore, each students must know the definition of what is the meaning of engineering and skills of engineering students as per ABET, accreditation board of engineering and technology, as I said, some 12 standards or qualities of engineering students. What are these qualities? And while doing a training or while teaching throughout these 4 courses, we have to keep always in this mind that we are imbibing or embedding these qualities into the students or not. Okay. Now, attributes required for industrial jobs. These 12 skills has been transformed, or it will be measured by the any software company interviews. Okay, that I will be going to discuss under the title attributes required for industrial jobs. Okay, and categories of students, as already told, I have just categorized the students into 2 types. One is good students and another one is weak students. Okay, remaining all the no categories are just identified because all the students who are treated as good will be get placed or will become successful. All successful students are good students. All non-successful students are treated as weak students. And first of all, what are the factors? What makes the students to be weak? That you will list out. What is the reason behind the creation of our students becoming weak? Is there any college factor? Is there any teachers factor? Is there any students one factors? All those things will be discussed on this topic. And practices followed to improve the performance of weak students. Generally in all the colleges, what they are doing, whether we are following that or not, if we are following any additional things, we can do it or not. Okay, that is practices followed to improve the performance of weak students. And we will define what is mentor. Many people will be doing mentoring and they will not know what is the meaning of mentoring. That's why there are so many people will just giving advising. They will instead of becoming a mentor, they have become advisors. Okay, there is a lot of difference between advisors and mentors. As already told, anybody can become an advisor. Okay, any professor can become an advisor. Okay, but in order to become a mentor, you must have some pre-experience. In order to mentoring BE students, you must have already undergone BE graduation, and you must have same experience earlier. Okay, in such cases, only that people can become mentors. Okay, and what is this mentorship? What actually happens in mentoring activity? Okay, then benefits of mentorship for students. What is the benefits for students? Why they must go undergo mentorship? And what is the benefits for mentor or teacher while doing a mentorship? What actually the benefits or advantages the mentor gets, or that is spending lot of time beyond the academic hours? Okay, how much benefit he can get? Okay, that we will list out. And then I will list out even qualities of good and bad mentor. There is a certain qualities of good and bad mentors. Okay, all the mentors must and should become a good mentors, but unfortunately there will be many people will have bad qualities, or it may be due to the inertia itself. Showing inertia, as a result, finally they will become a bad mentor. And conduction of mentorship. how to conduct a mentorship, okay, and objectives and outcomes of the mentorship. Okay, in the objectives and outcomes we will determine the different factors. Okay, that is we already given in the sheet and we are following in the our courage. How to measure the performance of mentors and how to measure the performance of mentee. Okay, that also we will discuss at the end. After this we will conclude this session. Okay, now everybody know that basically I will just go fast with respect to the definitions and qualities, because already you know whenever you have gone course outcome based educations, in that you already come to know that what is the meaning of engineering. Engineering is the application of scientific knowledge. They will possess some scientific knowledge. Just having a knowledge of science. Science is not necessarily physics, chemistry and mathematics. Computer science is science, electrical science is science, mechanical science is also science. Whatever the theory that we study in our subject, all the things are nothing but science only. Okay, for example, sorting. Explanation of sorting is a science. Understanding a sorting technique is a science. But the student must know how to apply that concepts. Okay, all the concepts in the real-time environment. Not only they must know how to apply for the real-time environments, they must also know how to economically develop some products. Whatever the product they will develop for real-time as a real-time solutions, it must be cost effective. It must be cost effective. Suppose you are building one, you are constructing one chair. If the chair amount is 1 lakh rupees, who will afford for this? Nobody will purchase that chair. Okay. Therefore, whatever the product, whether it is software product or hardware product, you have to design. The student or engineering student must have capability to apply the knowledge of science to solve real-time problems in a more economical way, in a cost-effective way. This is the total definition of engineering. Therefore, whenever you are mentoring such students, you must always measure the quality, whether this student has this property or not, whether this student has this attribute or not. That is, whether he can apply the knowledge of science to solve the real-time problems cost effectively. Okay, this is the things at the outcome of any mentoring must happen. Initially, you just a science student, PUC, he has got the knowledge of physics, chemistry, mathematics and biology. After certain years, you will become an engineer. Okay, that is after becoming an engineer, whether he is possessing this skill or not. He has got 80%, 90%, 50%, but he knows only the science, that is computer science, electrical science, mechanical science, every science you know, engineering science you know, but he does not know how to apply that into the real-time problems. He does not know how to use that knowledge to develop any products which is cost effective. Such cases, the student fails to become an engineer. Examples of engineering products are airplane. Okay, anybody who have got, they can just purchase some tickets, air ticket, and they can travel from one country to the another country. Microwave, Google product. Anybody who have got internet access can easily go through use the Google product, can use the informations available in the Google search engine. Televisions, mobile phones, AC, automobiles, electrical generators, refrigerators, these are all, you can see that these are all cost effective, as well as these are the applications of general science, okay, science knowledge, okay, engineering science knowledge. Now, according to the Abbott, as I told, Abbott has given a 12 skills, list of 12 skills of engineering graduates. Okay, Accreditation Board of Engineering and Technology has listed 12 skills. All these 12 skills must be possessed after the completion, during the course of completion of that student. That is, they must know how to apply the knowledge of mathematics, science and engineering, design and conduct experiments, analyze and interpret data. Okay, design a system component of processes. Okay, function on multidisciplinary teams. Okay, just having a knowledge, and I've seen some students will hesitate to work in team. One student was coming and asking that you put in that division and this division, I can't adapt in the division number A or division number B. I just told that to that candidate, if you go to software company, each and every persons are newcomers. Therefore, you have to adapt to that new environment. Then finally, she agreed and went and joined the same divisions. Okay, that is functional multidisciplinary teams. Then she must capable to identify, the candidate must capable to identify, formulate and solve engineering problems. In real-time environment, the student must have capability to observe where the problems are there, identify that problem, formulate that problem and try to find the solutions of that problem. Nobody will give the problem. Many times, actually even in project, final year project also, they have to design their own problems. That means even without the help of the teachers, they have to identify their own problems, innovative problems. But students nowadays, they are giving so many reasons, like I've got placement and that interviews, there so many subjects are there, and finally like that they will give reasons. But they must have capability to identify, formulate and solve any engineering problems. Okay, that's why initially we will give them freedom to identify and come with a new innovative problems. Then understand the professional and ethical responsibility. Each and every student must have undergo the course, particularly in computer science. If you take, software engineering is one of the most important subjects, particularly related to the professional and ethical responsibility. Just like a Constitution of India, they have given a preamble and rules and regulations in the software engineering. What is the standard that each and every engineer has to follow to become an engineer in social life? Okay, what are the ethical standards they have to follow? That has to be given, and they have to always keep that rules or ethical standard rules in their mind, just like we always remember Janagana Mana. Okay, we always tell Janagana Mana and we will not forget that. Similarly, the software engineer, he has to remember all those ethical standard rules and he has to work according to it. Okay, that means whenever you are doing mentoring, you ask a student, what is that ethical standard that software engineer has to possess? Whether that means you will come to know that he has studied the software engineering properly or not. Okay, if he has not told you, in the next sessions you tell him to come and give the details. Okay, describe all those things. Okay, this is one of the things. And they must and should communicate effectively. It is the most important. If you have got knowledge, if you have everything, mathematics knowledge is there, engineering science knowledge is there, mechanical engineering science knowledge is there, but you don't know how to communicate it effectively. You don't know how to express it effectively. You have got less confidence in your own language. Okay, therefore this is one of the important skill. And understand, he must and should be capable to understand the impact of engineering solutions in global and societal context. What is that impact? You will design some products. What is the impact of that product to the Ujjare? What is that impact to the entire Karnataka, entire India? Like that, he has to think in terms of impact toward the society globally. Okay. Then recognize the need for and ability to engage in lifelong learning. If any students come to you and tell, I am already tired of studying and I can't study much, 2 hours. I once was conducting a viva for students in practicals. I asked how many hours they are studying. Some students told 1 hour per day, 2 hours per day, but even some students told 1 hour per week, and some students even told that before 1 day before IAS I will study. That means that itself, if they go and tell the same thing in any campus interview, in any rounds, they will easily caught that this person does not have capability of lifelong learning. That means they don't have interest towards learning at all. Some students, even they have not at all visited libraries. And some students are misusing library for chatting purposes. This category of the students are also there. Okay, and they must and should know the current issues or contemporary issues. What are the current trends in technology? They must have, if you take computer science, they must have always knowledge about big data, Internet of Things, ethical hacking and cyber securities, forensic securities, biometric, okay, person security, information security. If latest technology, if they don't know anything about latest technology and they know about previous 10 years, it become useless. The latest, because in engineering every year it goes on changes, modern tools and technologies goes on changes. Therefore, student must capable to adapt to the new technologies, or they must have a habit of learning a new skills or new languages. Okay. And they must commit to quality, timeliness and continuous improvements. Quality, initially everybody can't have quality. Any product if you take at the initial stage, it will have less quality. After a certain time, after the evolution of certain time, the quality goes on increases. Like that, the student must also possess that skill. If all these 12 skills are there, then according to the accreditation board of engineering and technology, that student can be considered as an engineering graduate after the completion of this course. If any of these skills are not there, then he is unfit to become an or to be called as an engineer or engineering graduate. Then if you go to any industrial jobs or interviews, these are the some knowledge it is expected. The same thing 12, whatever the 12 is there, it has been in different perspective it has been represented here. Depth knowledge in technical subjects, whether all the technical subjects knowledge is possessed by this student or not. Always students will busy in preparing for the industrial interview only when they got announcement that this company is coming, that company is coming. They will start to search for the learning for that. It is not necessary to learn at the time of the interview. During the course, regular courses, because all the subject that is VTU is framed or any technical university frames, that subject will be as per the industrial requirements. In consultation with industry only syllabus will be framed. If any students study that subject beyond the scope of the examination, that's why whenever some subject has been studying, they must study in the perspective of VTU examination as well as GATE examination. Why IIT students are always preferred? To take any IIT students, you will pass GATE examinations. All IIT students, they will pass GATE examinations. They will get good ranks. That means GATE examination is a quality to measure your strength in that subjects. If you prepare for GATE or if you prepare for placement of all the companies, either if you prepare for grade you can face the placement. If you prepare for placement interview, then also you can face the GATE examinations. One of the students I just remember asked that student what was the reason for success in both GATE as well as placement. That student told that I prepared seriously for the placement interviews. He just listed out all the companies that come to SDMCG Dharwad, and he listed the subject that will be asked in all the companies, and he started to prepare seriously for that, and he referred even GATE examination question papers. Actually he was preparing for placement interview, but he was referring even GATE exam question papers, old question papers he was solving along with the placement old question papers. Ultimately he got selected in a very good companies like Oracle. In addition to that, some other 2 companies he got selected. Okay, like this, the students must be aware. That means they must have a depth knowledge in technical subjects. I am observing that in VTU syllabus is very good, but how they will test is, it is just like answer any 5 out of 8. Finally, the students are also not thinking beyond the scope of that VTU examinations. Okay. Therefore, we have to mentor. We can't change the VTU rules and regulations, VTU question paper setting. That is also, even I will go through that. I will refer some 2 textbooks on mentorships. I will give the list of that 2 books whenever you free. You please refer that. He has clearly mentioned that reason for becoming a weak student is curriculum or syllabus is also one example to become a weak student. And pattern of the question paper is also an example, one factor to become a weak student. Okay. Then you must have ability to apply the depth knowledge to solve real-time problems. You must capable to work in teamwork. You must have managerial and leadership skills. Communication skills, when I come to communication skill, not just speaking skills. I've seen in our campus interview, many students speaking very good in English and they will fail in essay writing. If they ask to write some essay, they will fail in that subject. Therefore, you please remember that communication skill is not only spoken English. Spoken English, listening English and writing English. Spoken English, they must speak very well. Listening, they must listen some videos. If you give any English videos, they must listen that and they must capable to transfer that into understandable meanings. Okay. Even writing skills, they must capable to write properly, neatly with no grammatical mistakes. And even reading skill also you can add. So many people will read newspaper, they will not understand the content of the newspaper. Only headlines they will read and they will go. Sometimes since they are not understanding the Hindu paper or Deccan Herald, they will directly switch over to the Kannada paper. They will start to read the Kannada newspaper. Okay, therefore reading is also one skill. That is also we can add here: spoken, listening, reading and writing skills. Just go through some papers. IEEE always will tell refer IEEE papers, IEEE papers. But the students, when you go to that IEEE paper, they will come and tell, I did not understand any content in this. Why? Because their reading skill is very less. Okay. Reasoning aptitude and general knowledge. This is the in every examination they will expect. They must have reasoning aptitude and general knowledge, and knowledge and skills on model tools and technology. They must have always a knowledge of modern tools. All the versions of Java, they must know the Java completely, not only core Java. Okay, all the advanced Java concept they must know. Similarly, Python language, Internet of Things. In order to develop some IoT systems, what language is required? They must know about that. Okay, like this modern tools and technologies, they must know. Now, category of students. Okay. Now that is about engineering skills that each and every student must possess. Okay. After possessing that engineering skills, okay, the students can be categorized into three categories. Okay. One is weak students, that is slow learners, average students, good or excellent students. You can take categorize any student. If you take any classes, you can observe that some students will be very active, some students are normal, some students are very weak in nature. Okay, you can categorize that students into weak students. Usually, in some times they are also known as slow learners. Okay, average students and good or excellent students. I told already. I will just categorize that into two types. One is good students and weak students. Then who are these weak students? Weak or average students. How do you identify such students? If you take a PUC marks, all students who have scored lesser than 50 or 60%, such students can be treated as weak students. All students who are not at all will get placed after the engineering, they are also treated as weak students. All students who are not eligible for higher studies, okay, they are also can be treated as weak students. And all these weak students are treated as per TechWeek phase 2, they have been treated as educational wastage. Okay, they are the educational wastage, and in many colleges, the percentage of this education wastage is 10 to 25%. Even in our colleges also, you can see that sometimes we have 90% placement, 80% placement. Like this, in between 10 to 25%, there will be always educational wastage. What are the reasons for this educational wastage? Okay. There is two factors. One is student factor. Students by themselves they will become weak. Another one is college factors. These are the two very important things to remember here. Student factors, college factors. Another one factors is there, that is university factors are not included there because we are limited to our college only, because we can't tell or guide video peoples. Therefore, just remove that factors and reduce into two factors. One is student factors and another one is college factors. Okay. What are these student factors? See, some students will lack self-confidence. They don't have any self-confidence. Okay. Whenever they enter to some classes, I got one incident when I was studying in PUC. One of my friend was there. Actually, he was very intelligent, but he has got very less self-confidence. And whenever he enters into mathematics class, he always used to, before entering a mathematics class, he always used to tell that I can't understand mathematics. That is, he has got that type of confidence. Even after 20 years, he could not pass mathematics because he has developed that type of the